on the IME show, Jen, you just spoke to the whole crowd of Power Room, talking about your personal, I'll say personal branding, but I'm going to say more of the PR side, public relations side, and using media with your company that you co-founded with your fiance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And before I get going, how long have you guys been together now?
Almost 5 years.
And it's Chris.
Chris.
Am I saying that right? Chris?
Yep, we're getting married in December.
In December, this December is the wedding, okay? So you have this incredible media company called Super Connector Media, right? That you and him co-founded. You worked with some huge names in the industry to help get connected on media, and that's on the PR side of the firm that you have, but then you also show others how they can go do it themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Besides all that, if we set that aside for a second right now, and I want to talk to you about what maybe things that people don't know about you, that people that follow you, your fans, you have a big following on Instagram, that they would like to know about you. There's all these accolades we can have in life, but on the show, I like to talk about what's like super important in life.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. When I say the word mother, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
My amazing mother.
Your amazing mother.
Yeah.
Okay, super interesting.
Why? What do most people say?
Well, no, because, let me think here for a second. So you are the very first female I've interviewed on the show. So on the IME show, I've interviewed everybody from Mike Tyson and Allen Iverson and all kinds of huge athletes, and Jamie Foxx on TV and so forth. And normally when I ask a question, I'll say like, hey, when you hear the word father, what do you think of? And they'll say like responsibility or protector or something like that. And when I said the word mother, this is so interesting to me. When I said the word mother, you did not think about yourself in any way. You only thought about your mother. So I think there's a direct correlation that's probably there of men and women and how they view things differently in life. Because if I'm not mistaken, you have a 12-year-old stepdaughter that you have right now. When I said the word mother, though, you went to your mom. Why is that?
I don't know why, to be completely honest with you.
Super close?
It was the first thing that came to my mind. And you want to know something? My mom and I, yes, we're super close, but we butt heads in a big way.
Okay.
My mom and I have had a difficult relationship.
Okay.
We have the same birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
So me and my mom are one day apart, 20th and 21st.
Really? Me and my mom were both December 28th.
Day.
Same exact day. I was born on her birthday.
Wow.
So my mom I would not be the person that I am today if it wasn't for my mother. She's been the most supportive human being in my life. But at the same time, like I was that angry teenager that was really nasty and rebellious. My parents got divorced. You know, there was a lot of issues in the family. There still are. And so my mom got the grunt of it, when I was growing up. And we're very close, but we're still like, we're not best friends. But I owe a lot of who I am to the way my mom brought me up.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I just thought of my mom.
Wow. Does she live in New York as well or somewhere else?
No, she lives in South Florida.
South Florida, okay. So when you talk about, you sort of mentioned it there, when you talk about people who have influenced you the most in your life, obviously you had a super successful career. You were on TV for 14 different seasons on TV, which is an achievement itself. But when you talk about people who have influenced you the most personally, who would you say has influenced your life the most?
There are two people that have influenced my life the most. Number one is actually my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
My grandmother.
Okay.
My grandmother, Thelma. She's the most fabulous woman you'll ever meet in your life. And she has an Instagram. So if you go to Thelma's World, this woman is your typical like Boca Raton Jewish grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Like she travels the world. She plays tennis still. She's like 96. She's kicking.
Wow.
And
did she transfer from tennis to pickleball or stay with tennis?
Tennis, Pilates, weightlifting. But the most important thing about my grandma that I've learned that I took away from, like that I think is one of my great qualities that I got from her, is that she cares about other people more than she cares about herself, number one. And number two, she marvels at things. And the little things. So if you take my grandma anywhere, she's traveled all over the world. She's literally been to the best hotels in every single country in every single area of the world. She's, very like, she does life. No matter what, no matter where you go, she'd be like, this is the most beautiful. logo I've ever seen. Oh my, you look amazing in salmon. That's incredible. Wow, look at your shoes, or like the detail here. She just marvels at things and really doesn't take anything for granted. And I love that, because I think in life we just skim past things and we don't appreciate things. And like she really shows me what gratitude is. And then, you know, she's still friends with all of her like kindergarten besties, which I'm not. And I'm just like, how can I be that person? The person that sends 500 Christmas cards out every single year to people that are still your best friends. So that's my grandma, but the second person is actually my fiance, Chris.
Your fiance. How long have you guys known each other, met? Get a little bit of background.
When we get married in December, it'll be 5 years, since we met. So we met on December 29th.
Oh, wow.
4.5-ish years ago, whatever that would be. And yeah, I created him with my mind before he existed in my life, legitimately. Like, I knew exactly who he was, and I was sick and tired of dating in New York City for years and years and years. And I was like, I'm just going to manifest this person, and I'm going to create him, and I'm going to put myself out there. And he came into my life like exactly at the right time, and everything. And I'm going to say this, everything that I know about marketing and communicating with people that I use today to become as successful as I've become, he's taught me.
Wow. Why, in a scenario, he's taught you, which you were very respectfully saying, but you remained the face and the voice.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're a great presenter on stage. Why did you guys decide for you to remain, say, the face of the company?
Yeah.
What made you guys go that route?
So did
he push you?
No, not at all. So when we became partners, as you heard my story, I used to be like, I had my fitness business, and Chris and I got together, and when I quit acting, I said this to my family all the time. I was like, somehow, some way, I'm going to end up back on stage, because this is my purpose in life. This is where I belong. But I just don't like the lifestyle of being an actor. Like, I don't like waiting for someone to pick me. I don't want to go into audition rooms and like, oh, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough, whatever.
So, that's so hard.
It's so hard. And I was like, screw this. I want to have more control over my destiny. So I'm not going to be in the entertainment industry anymore, but I will find a way. I don't know how to be back on stage. So Chris is doing these events. He has the beginnings of a company. It wasn't a company yet, right? And I start getting involved. I'm like, holy shit, this is a way for me to use my gifts. And so we started doing these events together, and we decided to become partners. He's like, what do I have to do to convince you to leave your business, which I was making a lot of money.
On the fitness side.
Yeah. He's like, leave and become my partner and do this with me. And I was like, okay, I will do that, but only if we're totally in this together. He was the face of the brand at the time. It was the Chris show. And I was like, it needs to be like me and you together. And there was a lot of imposter syndrome for me going into that, like trying to live up to him and like, you know, I was the girlfriend, you know, who was I? And he lifted me. Most men in that situation, I don't know if they would lift the person up as much as he did. And he lifted me up and put me on stages, and he knew in his heart, and he says this now, that I was a better speaker than him, that I was better as the face of the brand than he was. I just didn't know it myself. And I think he saw something that I didn't see, where it was me connecting to my purpose in this life, which is to perform and be on stage and teach people and help people. And he saw that. And so he really like helped me grow into that. And it started as me and him together. And he realized through this process of like, you know, us really finding our zones of genius, that he wanted to be in the background, and he wanted to push me to be the star. And now like all he does is support that dream of mine, because I want to be the greatest speaker in the world. That's my goal. And he's like full on that goal.
So a unique question here. So you go back to manifest. You said earlier that you like literally manifested what you wanted in through Chris. And I find it very unique because you kind of alluded to this as well. Most men would not do, I think is a kind of a broad statement, right?
Yeah, it is broad.
Most men would not do what Chris did, in the sense of most men would want to be the leading on the stage, speaking, especially if it was like kind of their initial idea and baby and so forth through it. And Chris did the exact opposite, which is pretty unique and rare. Is part of that from what you were manifesting, meaning you wanted a man that had certain qualities, and that's literally what you got through Chris?
I knew that I wanted a Jay-Z to my Beyonce.
Okay.
So that was my vision. My vision was I want to be in a power couple. I want to create something with my partner. And he needs to be into personal development. He needs to be an entrepreneur. He needs to want to be better all the time, personal growth. And because I was dating all these losers that were like, you know, like, oh, God, victim mindset
let's
and
name
all these
them.
things.
Let's call them out right now.
I called some of them out from stage, you saw. And I knew that it was somebody that thought bigger and had an abundant mindset where there's more than enough for everybody to go around. And it was him. And it is not easy for a man to do that.
It's
and,
not,
and he does it with so much pride and so much love. And he's like my #1 fan and wants me to succeed in this. And it's actually really helped our business in a big way. So at the beginning, when we weren't sure of our roles and we were kind of both the face and we were both doing the same thing, there was a lot of communication issues. But now that we both have our zones,
like lanes.
Yep. The show pony, I go out and I make the connections and I speak on stages, and he's in the background like crushing the marketing and the strategy and everything like that. We've catapulted.
Yeah. Let me shift gears here with you. If we talk about in your life, obviously there's high moments and there's low moments. There's huge wins and there's losses. As an entrepreneur, what would you say is one of those, not so much what was the low moment, but in the low moment, what did you find out about yourself in one of your lowest moments of life?
So one of my lowest moments of life, I really learned the power of prayer.
Prayer, interesting.
Yeah, and I'm a spiritual person. I was raised Jewish, but I'm not like, either way, anything. I'm just like believe in God. But there was this moment where we were at a really bad place, like a really bad, like really rock bottom moment where we could have lost everything. And I'd never felt so helpless in my life. This was not too far off from where we are right now. Like
this is part of the entrepreneurship journey
that
you and Chris are on.
This company, yes. And
isn't it amazing how every entrepreneur faces what you're saying? Like people look from the crowd and think, "Oh my God, she's probably never had to like face what I'm facing right now as an entrepreneur of like struggle or not making payroll or whatever it is." Like, no, you had to go through it. Yeah.
It was major.
Yeah.
Okay, we could have lost it all in a matter of seconds. And literally, I had never done this before. But I talked to God and I said, I need your help. And I sat there with Chris and we were like, I was like, God, I need your help. Please, I need your help. I don't know what else to do. And I asked God. I asked for the first time. And within minutes, we got a text message that changed everything.
No, shut up.
I swear to God.
Wow.
I swear to God. So that moment, I was like, wow, power of prayer.
Yeah.
It's real.
And you learn it in the darkest moment.
Yeah.
That's where it ended up at.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing that I learned from that. It's always for you. Everything is always for you.
It's for you, okay?
All right, all the failures, the shittiest moments, the rock bottom moments, because I look back at that moment now, the person that I was and all the lessons that I had to learn during that time in our business are the moments that make me who I am and the leader that I am today. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be as strong of a leader. We wouldn't have as successful of a company if we didn't have that failure. So if you can remember that every single situation is always for you in some way, you won't know in the moment, like the Steve Jobs quote, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. You won't know then, but one day you will know why, and you will see why it's for you. If you can always remember that when you're in the shit, you have freedom.
That's very good. You have ultimate freedom in the middle of hell. If you can remember that it's actually for you and not against you. While you're going through what feels like hell on earth at the moment in time.
Discomfort's temporary. Growth is permanent. So if you can get through the temporary moment of discomfort, the other side is always growth.
It's amazing because everybody hates being uncomfortable. I mean, I should say everybody. People hate being uncomfortable, but it's through being uncomfortable, like you said, is we're on the other side of that lies your future. But you have to go through that being uncomfortable time period. Inside of entrepreneurship, inside of being a parent, inside of whatever it is, inside of relationships, it's through that uncomfortable period you're trying to figure it out that hurts and bothers you and keeps you up at night. But on the other side of that is what you're actually looking for. On the other side of that wall right there. Last question I have for you. On the IME show, we talk about one word or maybe a phrase or something, but it's for the sign here. And on this one, we have I am me, and in the logo, it's a thumbprint, and that's actually my thumbprint. And I did it because everybody has their own individual DNA. We're all freaking different people.
So cool.
And I am me is I built it for it to be a voice of in a world, and you know this, in a world full of PR and social media. there's this thing of like being authentic. It's kind of a buzzword. Here's how I feel. It's kind of like a sexy buzzword. It's like, oh, you gotta be authentic. You gotta be authentic. And it's like, I think there's like authentic, and then there's like social media authentic. Very few do you actually find just a pure, just like, hey man, this is like who I am. This is it. Like, it is what it is. I'm not trying to impress. I'm not trying to hurt, but this is just me as a human. Yeah. And it's really why I kind of set out to build I Am Me, was to talk to successful, famous people, social media influencers, and figure out who is that real person behind like, there's a phrase I'm using right now. It says, you know my name, but not me. And it's like, a lot of people know who, even in your sample, a lot of people know who Jen is, but they know your name, but not the true person that you are. Here's the final question. When it's all said and done, everything is over, and you're 100 years old, on your deathbed, looking as stunning as you do today, though, even at 100.
Of course I will.
Of course. You have to manifest that, by the way. And if there was one word that you would want people, not just your family, but those who follow you, those that you teach, those that you help, those that you train, if there would be one word that you'd want them to know you by, and when they think of Jen Gottlieb, think of this. What would be that one word or a couple words that you would want people to remember you by when it's all said and done? Jen was what type of person?
That's a loaded question.
It's a deep question.
That's a deep
I've had
question.
grown men, like athletes, cry on this question live. Like Earl Campbell, one of the greatest running backs of all time, like was like, whoa. Emmitt Smith, they're like, whoa. And it's like, dude, I gotta think about this. This is like,
it's really, you gotta, like, that's not something you can just throw on somebody in an interview with the lights on, like, okay, ready, set, go.
I do it.
You at least gave me some prep for the money thing.
I did. And that was a good answer, by the way.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite answers. I didn't want to take your spotlight, but I think it's one of the best answers.
Oh,
Truly. And I've had probably 250 answers of it, and I think energy is one of the best truthful, real definitions of what money is. Sorry, cite squirrel ADD, because money is nothing but energy if you think about it.
Yep.
It's just stored energy. So if I were to give you a $100 bill or a $20 bill, all it represents, if you think about it, is that dollar bill or 20 represents energy that I had to spend.
That's right.
To acquire that, and the money is just a token that is representing my stored energy that I used back here to, whether it be as simple as digging a ditch or hiring a PR that got me on CBS.
Yep.
But energy was spent that created this, and this is just representing that energy that I had to spend,
Yep.
and I'm going to use this energy for something else now.
Yep.
And all money really is energy that's flowing from and to. I think it's one of the best answers that is truly with what money really represents, is energy. So I didn't want to take all that on stage with you, but I thought that's probably the best answers that I know of money is that answer. So great answer.
I agree with you. All
now
right.
go back to the tough one.
So wait, so give me the fill in the blank again.
So if when it's all said and over, what would you want people to remember you by? Like one word that represented Jen Gottlieb. What would you want your fans to know you as?
The first word that comes to mind when you say that is the thing that makes the world go round, and that is love.
Love. I think, so with all these interviews that I've done, normally the best answers are the ones that when people say, the first word that comes from my gut right now is this. I don't even know what it means yet. I'm still trying to process it.
Yeah.
But it's just this. Normally those are the best, most truthful answers.
That was the first word.
If your first word is love, so is it fair to say that when it's all said and done, you'd want everybody to know Jen Gottlieb as love?
Yeah.
Meaning, let's define it a little bit. Love of that she loved life, loved people, loved
You're filling in the
the
blanks for
good
you. That's what I was
times,
going to say.
loved the bad times.
Yeah.
Because through the bad times, you talked about this earlier, right, is where you find the growth.
That's right.
And if you actually fall in love with those tough times, it will make you a better person quicker and faster. So I'm going to put, for Jen, the word is love.
Yeah.
You like this though?
I love it.
Now this written.
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. It's exactly right. That was I was like, how do I say this? Love. It's just love. Love is the answer to everything. And I want to be known as
a person.
Love. Like when you see me, when you talk to me, I want you to feel loved. And And when I leave the room, I want you to still feel remnants of love.
Mm-hmm.
When I speak on stage, I want you to be inspired to love.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to love life as much as life loves me.
It's got to be one of the most powerful words. If you think about the word love, think about how powerful that word is, right? Love has the ability to bring two people together for an eternity through every argument and good time and bad time and so forth. Love also, on the flip side, is so powerful that it can start a war.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That one emotion can solve the world's problems or cause the world's problems.
It creates humans too.
Think about that.
That's what procreates us.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything.
It all comes back to love.
Yep.
So, Jen, I love to have you speaking, and I love to have you on the Money-ish or the I Am Me show. And I love your answer that Jen wants to be known as love. Thank you very much. Thanks for being on the show.
Having me. Oh my gosh, thank you
You're
for having
wonderful.
me. This is
Thank you.
Thank you.